Long days and pleasant nights, fellow explorers. The time has come once again to determine what my next side series will be. Let me preface this, as usual, by saying that the SCP series will continue as normal, once a week. Nothing will change there. This is just my side series to go along with it, usually once every other week. Now, normally, for the last few years, all of my series have been determined by viewer polls. And that's worked pretty well. I've covered a lot of things that I never thought I would cover, such as Celtic mythology, and it's been a really interesting ride, and things like SCP I never thought I would cover. And that's really worked out. So I've been perfectly happy with having viewers choose my series and myself having very little input on it. That being said, this time we're going to do something a little different. This time I am going to choose my next side series. For a while now, I've had an idea of trying to bridge my job, which is the exploring series, and my main hobby, which is video gaming. And I've wanted to try to bridge the two in some way of doing some sort of exploring video games. And so I'm finally going to go ahead and do that. And I guess we're going to just sort of go big or go home by doing a series on the story of Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy is probably my favorite video game series, my favorite video game franchise. And I discovered Final Fantasy XIV this year. This year I played through it for the first time. And I really just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the game itself and the story and characters and all that. And I realized, as I was trying to rope some friends into it, that there's nothing in between playing through the game yourself, which takes dozens upon dozens of hours if you want to play through the whole story, and just watching like a 1 or 2 hour summary that covers all the major plot points. There's nothing really in between that I've found, of like 30 hours or something like that goes into a pretty in-depth summary of the entire journey throughout the story. So I figured that if anyone could do that, could make that series, it would probably be me. I mean, not only me, somebody else could do it, but I can do it, I think. And I don't know how popular it's going to be, but this is something that I want to do. And after a few years of just doing series that I really had no input on as far as choosing them, we're going to give this a try. You know, we're going to give something a try that I am choosing, that I really want to do. Not that I didn't enjoy all these other series and all that, but we're just going to see how this goes. So this is the announcement. There's no polls or anything like that. This is the announcement of the story of Final Fantasy XIV. I guess that's the tentative title that I'm probably going to go with. Specifically, notably, this is not exploring Final Fantasy XIV. Because the exploring series to me is sort of topic based. You know, I'll bounce around throughout an overall topic, and I'll delve into smaller topics within that. So, you know, doing like exploring Middle Earth. You know, I'm not just summarizing the plot of Lord of the Rings within that series. I am jumping from different topic to different topic in each video. This will not be an exploring series of Final Fantasy XIV. This is going to be the story of it. So this is going to be more akin to, say, like the Ouroboros cycle, where we have a singular story that I am breaking up into chunks and just summarizing it as we go through it. So this is going to be more episodic. I'm going to basically treat an entire playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's story as if it were, say, like a book or a television show. and we're going to break it up into episodes as I go through it. And I'll just summarize the story as we go. And we'll have cutscenes play occasionally and things like that. And I'm going to try to make it a bit more cinematic. But bottom line is that this is a very new venture for me. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to put this together. This is different. But that's also why it's kind of exciting. So I hope that people enjoy it, and I hope that I really enjoy putting it together. If it doesn't work out for whatever reason, if, we get through 15 episodes and the views are just in the dumps because no one's interested in this, or it's just a slog to put together or whatever, I'll can it. We'll just move on. We'll move back to doing polls and doing things normally, but I want to give this a try. So I hope that, plenty of you give at least the first episode a try. Give it a watch. See if you're interested. If not, SCP will continue, and, at very worst, this is only a year-long experiment, and then we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it, so I think that's an important factor. All right, so that's it. That's the whole announcement. The first episode of this should be out within a couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Give it a try, and I will see you fine folks around.